Okay, now we will continue with the evaluations of the merger acquisitions. All right, typically the firm will use the MPV analysis, okay, when they're making acquisition decision. So that means we need to calculate the MPV. All right, and the rule of thumb for the MPV is the same as the one that we have learned before. Okay, I think you have learned about MPV, capital budgeting, where if the MPVs is a positive value, that means you will proceed. Okay, in our case here, we will proceed with the mergers or acquisitions proposal. Okay, or if it's a negative value, then you will not proceed with your business expansion plans here or your mergers proposal. Okay, all right, and the calculations of the MPV, all right, with the cash offer, okay, will be more straightforward or simpler, right, than the calculation or the analysis of MPV using the stocks consideration. Okay, because we know that, right, when we or when the company plans to merge or to acquire another company, right, they can use either of these two methods, all right, of the purchase consideration. All right, that means the acquiring firm or the acquirer can pay the target firm in cash, okay, or the acquirer can pay the target firm in the forms of stocks. All right, so this is what we meant here, the calculations of MPV using the cash purchase consideration for mergers and acquisition will be more straightforward and simpler compared to the purchase considerations of stocks and PVs analysis. Okay, all right, so in order to apply the MPV's analysis, right, before we go to the example, okay, let's move to the next slide. Okay, right, so this is the one. Okay, the calculations of MPV can be can be done or can be determined using these two situations or based on these two situations. The first one, okay, using the non-dividend growth model, and the second one using the dividend growth model. So this dividend growth model already exposed to you when we did the cost of capital topic. Okay, this one later on I will explain to you using the example. All right, for non-dividend growth model, right, we need to calculate the MPV both. We need to calculate the MPV except using different method. One using the dividend growth model, that is this one, the dividend growth model. Okay, and another one is the non-dividend growth model. Okay, when we are using a non-dividend growth model, that means we are not dealing with this DVM lah, right, or this growth model. Okay, let's go to the next slide. Okay, so this is the formula that you have to aware of, all right, when you want to calculate the MPV. So if you refer to my formula booklet that I have shared with you earlier at the beginning of our semester, I think you can see, right, how or what are the formulas involved in the calculations of MPV for cash and also for stocks considerations. Okay, all right. So I think I won't go through the formula here. All right, I will go through the formula when we apply this formula for the example. Okay, all right. So before we go to the example, I will continue with this one first. Alright, cash versus common stock. So this is what I mentioned just now, where the acquirer can pay the target firm in cash or in the common stock. Alright, common stock, that means ordinary share. Right, the choice can be made based on these factors. The first one, okay, that can be considered in deciding whether to use cash or common stock or shares is the overvaluation factors. All right, if the target firm's shares are too expensive to buy with cash, then it is better for the company to go or to pay with stock. Right, and if the shares of the acquirer are overvalued in another situation, okay, from the perspective of the acquirer, if we found that the shares of the acquirers are overvalued, therefore the acquirer can pay the target firm by shares. Okay, why is that? There will be less number of shares to be issued to the target firm's shareholders if the shares are overvalued, shares of the acquirer. Okay, right, the next one is the tax consideration. Okay, the cash acquisition normally will trigger the tax, whereas the stock acquisition are usually tax free. So if the company wants to avoid tax, then the company should pay the target firm by stock and vice versa. Okay, all right, and the other situation or factors here, whether to use cash or stock, is the sharing gains from the mergers factors or consideration. Right, if you as the target firm, sorry, if you are the acquirer and then you willing to share any profits earned after the acquisition with the new shareholders from the target firm, then the company can use or pay the target firm by share. So with the cash transaction, whereas with the cash transaction, the target firm shareholders are not entitled to any downstream synergies and also to any profits obtained or earned from the acquisition, if the cash transaction is used. But if the acquirer willing to share any profit and loss with the target firm's shareholders, then the acquirer can pay the target firms by stock. Okay, so these are the factors that the acquirer can consider, right, in deciding whether to pay the target firm by cash or by common stock. Okay, right. So I think that's all for now, and I will continue with the example. Okay, hold on. Okay, this is the example. Alright, if you can see here, I am still using the same example, but this time I change a little bit the information, okay, so that we can use the information for the calculations of the NPV.